Now today will be a really fast video because I'm taking a look at the H4N Pro and mainly focusing on the preamplifiers of this device, and I'm going to take a look and compare it with a much more professional device, the Mic Preamps 3. I'm Richard and welcome to ZP Productions, and today we'll take a look at the H4N Pro, especially the preamps inside the device itself, and see whether is it a decent upgrade over what you have in your video cameras, and of course compared to the Mic Preamps 3, how does it sound like? Is there a difference? Now the H4N Pro is not a new device. I think it's in the market for the last 4 years. Most people who review it as a package together with the XY microphone. Rarely do they talk about the preamps. They will say that it's better, but how much better compared to the old H4N? Now the H4N Pro, as I said, is in the market for 4 years, so I won't be going through the full review. This is the black version, which is, if you ask me, a reskin version of the old H4N Pro. And everything seems to be the same, including the micro USB port, which is probably very ancient. Now, today, as I said, I'll be looking mainly at the preamplifiers, but, I'll give you a general overview. This is a handheld recorder. It has a XY microphone allowing you to record, stereo sound in the field itself. It has two XLR that provides phantom power and allows you to plug in professional microphones such as the MKH416 that's recording this video here. You can also plug in something like the singing microphone, the WA87 version 2, behind me into the recorder and still get the sound. So it is pretty handy if you ask me. Now, this is one of the cheaper devices with XLR inputs. So, there is certain amount of compromises that you get. So the software, if you ask me, is a little bit slow and there is that much settings that you can do. But today, as I said, our focus is on the preamplifiers, and I have tested it a little bit, and I will say these preamplifiers are pretty good. So without wasting too much time, let's jump into the preamplifiers themselves rather than talking about the device. Now, before I start, I'd like to thank SLR Revolution for loaning me this copy of the set because I just want to try out whether can I get a more portable device than the Mic Preamps 3 that has a decent preamplifiers to use with my microphones. Sometimes I just want to record easily, and the good thing about this device is that it's easy to use and easy to set up, and it runs on 2AA batteries, so you can actually power it quickly, and it provides phantom power. Now, the Mic Preamps 3 with batteries will probably last like 2 hours, while this guy lasts like 5 hours with 2 batteries rather than 4 batteries here. So it is a lot more economical to run, and I can probably bring it out to also record stereo sound in addition to my professional microphones like the MKH416 here. So the preamps are, if you ask me, pretty good. So I had tested it out a few times, and I double tested, triple tested with very high-end shotgun microphones like the 8060 here, and of course the CMIT. This is the mini CMIT itself. Both of these shotgun microphones are as high-end as it gets. Now, all the shotgun microphones have about a noise floor of around 11 dB to 13 dB, so they are not the quietest. I mean, most of the singing microphones can go as low as even 8 dB itself. But the thing is, really, does this recorder match up with the Mic Preamps 3? And today's video is really to look at it, especially when you use shotgun microphones like this. So I put both of the files into the Studio One Pro, Studio One 4, version 4 for me. And I went to compare their files. So I went to record some songs from the speaker, normalize the volume, and then look at the quiet areas of the recording itself and did a comparison. Now, when I was comparing both of them, and you can take a look at this screenshot here, they look almost the same. I mean, seriously, the wave itself looks really similar. I'll say as the Mic Preamps 3 probably looks smoother in a wave, but it doesn't really translate much to a difference in sound. In fact, with my very high-end setup for audio tracking, I have a HD 650 with one of the high-end decks by Hugo Hugo TT. I really can't hear much difference. There is very minor difference itself. But overall, the sound itself sounds very same. Then I went to listen to the quiet areas of the track, which looks very same. The quiet areas of the track sound different. I'll label which device is actually amplifying the quiet track. By the way, I lifted the whole track by 24 decibel to let you guys listen to it. Now take a listen at this track and then see, or should I say hear the difference between both the H4N Pro and the Mic Preamps 3. I'll give you guys 10 seconds. So I think that you guys pretty much heard the difference between the H4N and the Mic Preamps 3. I did notice something is that the H4N has some sort of a higher pitch whine, like hissing sound, while the Mic Preamps 3 has a more lower rumble. In terms of practical noise floor, I would really have to say, in terms of practical noise floor, they are very, very same. So after raising 24 decibel in this particular recording, I did notice that, the noise floor, both of them sits at around, I think, like 40 something dB. They are just like 1 over dB difference in terms of the, I think, the two levels themselves. So really, there is pretty much no difference in terms of practical noise floor in my room, which is a treated room. As I said earlier in some of my reviews, this is a treated room with foam everywhere, including a carpet on the floor and foam on the ceiling. It is not the best treated room in the world because there is still some areas that can reflect sound, but on general, it is a very, very clean room. And I'll tell you, the practical noise floor between the H4N and the Mic Preamps 3 is quite negligible in this scenario itself. Now, that is, of course, when it comes to noise floor, because we are looking at the files and stuff. What about the amplification? Now, so the amplification wise, I tried with the NTG4 Plus, which is very power hungry. On the Mic Preamps 3, it gives me about, it requires about 60 gain out of a 75 gain that you can set in the device. By the way, the device can add another 20 gain with the knob. So this device can go up to 95 gain. So it requires something like 60 out of 95 maximum gain you can get out of the Mic Preamps 3. Now the H4N goes to 80 upon 100, so it is at the 80% mark, but it still powers the NTG4 Plus to a decent volume. So, the quality of the recording, after, I tried both of these devices, the practical noise floor is still the same. So there is no difference even, at 80% versus this guy, which is 60 upon 95, which is like 60%. The practical noise floor is the same itself, which means that both devices are adding very, very little noise, and most of the noise is coming from the mic or from the environment that is out here. Of course, my room, as I said, treated room. However, there is still a window with some curtains, and there may be some sound coming from the outside in, and that's what I would say. So overall, if you ask me, the H4N Pro, the preamplifiers are fantastic. If you are doing some own personal videos and you have decent microphones, the H4N Pro, does provide proper phantom power and proper recording capabilities that you will not feel disappointed in terms of the output from the H4N Pro already. Now, the Mic Preamps 3, of course, is still a better device. It is more well-built, but it's more power-hungry, and it's less portable. So the moment you add in batteries, considering how it records and stuff, this is less portable than the H4N. So if you only need 2 microphones for your own self, like going out for interviews with your friends and stuff, the H4N Pro will provide you both, ambient stereo sound and a proper XLR connection that provides phantom power to your microphones, such as the MKH416 here. In fact, this whole episode has been recorded using the H4N Pro with the MKH416, so you guys can listen. Really, I think that this is a very practical upgrade to your setup itself. I mean, shotgun microphones are pretty decent these days. I mean, if you own something like the DAT-S Mic 2 or some of the more recent shotgun microphones like the NTG5, NTG3, they are not too expensive. And all you need is just a good amplification device, the device such as the H4N Pro, which, if you ask me, in the practical sense, in a semi-treated environment, will provide no difference compared to the Mic Preamps 3. Now, of course, when you go to much higher gain beyond even the H4N Pro can support, then the Mic Preamps 3 can go. Maybe there's a difference, but I don't have a microphone as power hungry as the NTG4 Plus. I used to have a Shure SM7B, but I never remember the Shure SM7B requiring more than 60 gain. So the NTG4 Plus still probably beats it in terms of gain requirement. So overall, I'll say as the H4N Pro is worth to purchase, and in Singapore it's selling at 355 Sing dollars. In US, I will just put this picture here to let you guys know what's the US price. So for 355 Sing dollars with a recorder and a preamp, that, if you ask me, as I say again, practical noise floor, practical sound quality, no different from the Mic Preamps 3, which is a 1.2K Sing dollar device, which is 3 times the price. I think the H4N Pro is good. And then with this device, you should invest yourself in a nice shotgun microphone, and then you can go around recording good videos, good sound, and then do interviews. That's about it for today. I hope you enjoy this short little video on, H4N Pro review, because a lot of people are just reviewing the built-in microphones and of course the device itself. But I really want to know, how does the preamp sound? And I think I'm satisfied with it. And if not because I own the Mic Preamps 380, I would have probably bought the H4N because it's portable, it runs on 2 batteries, and I can carry around and use my high-end shotgun microphones as a good device for outdoor sound and also indoor in my YouTube videos. That's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. And if you got any questions, leave it down in the comments below. Do like and subscribe. And I will see you again in my next video to improve your sound and, of course, photography. Bye-bye.